So here's the deal. This year is going to see a tremendous spike in content coming out of a whole bunch of different creators. We obviously have the midterm elections coming up, so we've got a handful of primaries to wrap up, and then we have the general election races as a whole, any debates that may or may not occur, the positions these various candidates take, any October surprises that pop up, and then, of course, the election and the results thereof themselves, and then what happens in the interim between the election and when the next Congress is sworn in, especially if Democrats take one or both chambers of Congress. What do the Republicans do while they're in lame duck session? There's a whole bunch of content that's going to be cranked out from the left and the right on all of that. And then we have the Supreme Court kicking things off in October, and it looks like they're going to be taking on some big cases right out of the gate.
The Supreme Court will open its term with blockbusters on climate change and immigration detention. Just in case you were enjoying the summer, pretending that fall isn't coming, the Supreme Court released the October oral argument calendar today as a gentle reminder that OT 2026 is indeed on its way. On Monday, October 5th, the first Monday in October and the first day of the term, the Supreme Court will consider whether a county in Colorado can go after oil and gas companies for millions of dollars for their alleged role in climate change.
That's huge.
There are just 7 arguments over 5 days for the October sitting. On Tuesday, October 13th, is the immigration case. And that case is about whether there's a point in time when a non-citizen is detained for a long enough period of time that they become constitutionally required to have a bond hearing. And if so, what standard the government has to meet in order to keep that individual detained. Also, any day now, we will get a decision from the court's emergency docket about whether Trump can move forward to enforce his new rules and restrictions about mail-in voting for the November midterms. That emergency case is now fully briefed, so we could get the decision at any time.
So, on top of the elections, which are huge in and of themselves, as they will determine how much of the Trump agenda actually gets implemented over the course of the last 2 years of his presidency. On top of that, we have some major Supreme Court cases that are going to kick off just as the weather is getting a little bit crispy. So we're going to have a ton of content coming out of my pages across the social media platforms, on the election, on the campaigns, on these court cases, and so I am going to. I'm working right now to figure out what the schedule looks like, but I'm going to bring back my podcast, my weekly Friday podcast, because I can discuss things in a manner on my own podcast that I can't even discuss on even the most lenient of social media channels in video format. So I'll have some information for you in a week or two, hopefully. And then we're going to kick back into doing weekly episodes of the Second Half podcast. I will get it back up on my website and get it on my link tree as well, so you guys can catch up on the old episodes. But with everything that we've got going on and the amount of content that we're all going to be cranking out, I'm going to go ahead and put out a platform, go back into a platform where I can be as unfiltered as I can possibly be. More to come.